And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another, or to the same day actually, to another broadcast here of the CranKy Ducklings, the OSC Elite Rising Star number 16. Your seasonal tournament to determine the rising stars in StarCraft 2. I'm of course VIP with you. I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to something a little bit different, something special to the OSC Elite event, the Rising Star event. Again, players are going to be coming in from all around the world, and they are all up and comers. Again, we're not going to be featuring these stable names and your namestays, even like Cyril, like Rainer, like Maru or Björn or anything like that. Instead, we're going to be featuring some of these other up-and-coming players instead. We're going to foster the scene, we're going to help grow the player base, of course, and to give a bit of a limelight, or give the limelight to some of these deserving players. Now, for those that are curious, the OSC Elite Rising Star number 15 tournament champion was Jumi. Jumi did win that event, and he's also going to be reprising his role in this tournament as well, and we'll see if he can pull off another win. This is a big event, I should emphasize that as well. A lot of players, double elimination, and this event will take months to resolve. Here we go. Here we go. I want to say that the previous event took like 2 to 3 months to kind of get through and to work through as well. So it can take some time back. You can take So here we go. Exclamation mark B in the chat. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at it yourselves. The bracket is live. The bracket is stacked. And oh, there it is. And here we go. Now, this morning we already had our first broadcast. We had our first broadcast covering this event, and we covered 5 best of 3s. 5 best of 3s. Here you can see them. Art versus Geomek, Art versus F2 Click, different arts. We had Sebestes, we had Hydra, we had Inexorable, we were featuring Shameless. Art had a big win over Shameless as well. I was favoring Shameless in that series, so we have already resolved a portion of the bracket, but there's still so much more ahead of us. Again, to feature and to kind of name drop a couple of these players here, you can see from the top we have Nikrat, we have Hatsu, we have Mixu, Honmono, Papi, Art, the other Art, Shameless, Inexorable, Sebestes, Hydra, F2 Click, Sig, MinoVK, Percival, Mini Zerg, Moja, Jimmy, BabyMarine, Night Phoenix, Duty Soldier, Demi, and Young Jakob. Here we go. And Jomek as well. I hope I didn't gloss over anyone. But yeah, it is again a very stacked bracket, and as you can see, double elimination as well. The way this tournament works is that players, they actually play their matches ahead of time. They play them out ahead of time. They submit the matches just because there are so many of them, and we do broadcast every single match here and now. I say we, typically I believe Eddie does kind of rotate casters. So currently we are covering day 1. We might cover day 2, or it might go the way of Chicken Man or Dave Testa or Wardy or Steadfast or one of the other casters out there. So again, typically for a lot of these OSC events, Eddie does kind of rotate between casters and does give other channels the opportunity to cover the event as well. And again, this is also why it typically takes a couple of months, just because there are so many games, so many matches to schedule, to organize, and to get through as well. Oh boy. So when it comes to what we're casting, well, let's scroll down. Let's scroll down a little bit here. You can see still in the first round, still the first day of OSC Elite, we have Sig. We have Sig versus MinoVK. That is going to be our first series of the broadcast. We're going to be focusing on this portion of the bracket. We're going to be casting Sig versus MinoVK into Percival. Then we're going to be casting Mini Zerg versus Moja into Eba. And then we're going to be casting BabyMarine versus Night Phoenix. So 5 best of 3s. 5 best of 3s. 10 in total. We casted 5 this morning, 5 this evening. That's the plan. That is the plan. Whew, here we go. Just catching up in the chat. So yes, we are going to be featuring quite a number of players here, and we have our first series of the broadcast. Going to be jumping on in. Up first is going to be our, there we go, 6th best of 1. Up first is going to be Sig and MinoVK. Game 1 is going to be on ley lines. Let's go. Let's go. As morning, in the top left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MinoVK. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss player himself. Representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Sig. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our PvP. Let's go, baby. Let us go. So now we are going to be settling into our initial matchup. So far, so good. We just see Minuvk setting up on the high ground. Meanwhile, Sig setting up his own pylons and own gateways a little bit further back. And this is going to be an interesting matchup here. So coming into this year, Minuvk is one of the more veteran players of the scene, of the region. He's a bit of a younger player, true, but again, he has been around for quite a number of years at this point. And what I will say is that in recent times, he's been taking a step back from playing. Again, he's been doing a lot of casting, a lot of streaming, a lot of 2v2, a lot of StarCraft Evolution. He's been hosting tournaments, running events, casting set events as well, like the Firegrow Cup, like Sunny Lake Cup as well. So again, Minuvk, he's been taking a different role in this team, is what I will say. But he's still competing, he's still laddering, he's still practicing, and every now and then he surprises me with his runs and with his results. Like I feel like I expect a little bit less of him as of late because, you know, he's taken more of a content creator role, but every now and then he still pops off. So he's still very much so in form, is what I will say. Meanwhile, Sig, he is more of an up-and-comer. Sig, he started, he's been competing for a couple of months at this point, but only recently has started signing up for tournaments on a regular basis, signing up for our open tournaments, Sparkling, Tuna Cup, Morty TV Mondays, for example, Monday Night Weeklies as well. So Sig, he has been rising through the ranks, and again, he's kind of entering that upper echelon of you know, up-and-coming GM players. I will say that Sig is maybe one of the lowest ranked players in the bracket, but has a lot of potential, as a player. He's, of course, the Swedish Protoss player, and we'll see if he can keep up with Minuvk, because here comes the one base all-in, the Proxy Robo. Oh boy. Here we go. Proxy Robo, one base all in, and now Sig with his probe scout, he does know that the pylon is missing. He knows that, hey, this pylon is very late, so the second pylon is somewhere, and he responds with a Robo. Now, economic opener, Sig, he goes Gate, Cyber, Expand. Gate Expand into Cyber Core in towards his Robo, so a very greedy build here by Sig, and we'll see if he can get away with that greed. Now, Minuvk, he's fully aware of the greed of his opponent. That's why this all-in is going to be a little bit more potent. Now, thankfully, Sig is responding, reacting with a Robo for his own defensive immortals, but we'll see if it's going to be enough. We'll see if it's going to be enough here. Minuvk, he is going to commit. He's going to double down. Here we go. The first immortal is on the way. There's some players that did go prison first to be able to drop into the bases and get economic damage. And no, straight for the immortal, straight for the wall, straight for the natural. This is where sentries and force fields are going to be key here to survive, to hold on, to buy time. Bearing in mind that Sig has the defender's advantage, so even though he will be down in immortal for a period of time, he'll be able to reinforce faster. He'll have those shield batteries as well. He can pull some boys if need be. The lack of wall here is going to hurt though. Adepts, they can just freely shade in. Doesn't quite commit. Minuvk does hit the low ground, going for the shield battery. Uh-oh. Yeah, shield battery is under fire. And it's going to be targeted down. Oof. Yeah, with that now going for the main army. Oh, the immortal gets caught out though. Nice force fields. Very nice force fields. Minuvk will lose her first immortal. Ay, that should not have happened. Yeah, that should not have happened. With that, he does trade, but the immortal does stand strong, and Sig, he holds. He's holding on. We have two more shield batteries behind this. We have another immortal on the way for Sig, and that does shade in. But again, that was a big loss from Minuvk. That should not have happened. Should not have been caught out in such a way. And now suddenly, like, he doesn't really have much firepower here. He's going for the economy. Going for the warp in. Ooh, oh, okay. Oh my god, the force field though. Two immortals are stuck on the low ground. He's stuck outside his house. Stuck outside the main. There's no energy for a recall. Yeah, there's no recall available. Force field does run out. Minuvk, oh, forced out of the main base. He's gonna be forced out. Does rotate behind this. So we have another immortal on the way. Still needs a little bit more time. Still needs more time. From here, catching out a sentry, but that's still three immortals. I do like the idea of Minuvk rotating back and forth and trying to hit wherever the immortals aren't, but again, that's a hefty immortal lead here for Sig. Like, Minuvk, he cannot fight head on, especially not after losing that first immortal. Nice force fields. We go for the recall. Can we say, look, we can't say one of the immortals. Nice catch there. Adamindle catching one. At the same time, though, there was a lot of force fields. He's running out. Now 2 for 2. Or I should say the immortal count here, 2 and 2 between the two players. Still very clutch, very close, very neck and neck. Shield battery is helping. It's back against the sentries. Triggers the shields. Gets another sentry. Down to 3. That's a lot of DPS being some of the sentries though. Nice save there from mid of VK. Saves the sentries. Sig barely holding on. Third immortal soon to arrive for both players. As Minnow dropping into the main. Dropping into the main base, going for the economy. Sig out of position. Uh-oh. And he does split up his army. Okay, does split up. Not losing too much, losing, what, 1 probe. Depowers the Twilight Council, denies charge. At the same time, pushing on the right-hand side. Pushing into the natural once again, nice force field. But as the Immortal gets away, the shield barriers, they put in a lot of work, and without the Immortals, yeah, they're safe. The Immortals are safe. Sig collapsing on the army, forcing it back. And Sig is holding, Sig is getting further ahead. His natural waste almost fully saturated. This entire time has been slowly building up his workers. So building up his economy. Soon he can spend that money. He has repowered his Twilight Council. The Immortal count's still looking quite high for middle VK. Shield batteries now out of energy. Middle dropping back into the main. Going for the pylon once again. Commits to the warp in. Going for the Twilight Council. Uh-oh. And we'll see if we get a night charge. Would be a big moment. Boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled. Charge should be saved. I say that, taking a lot of damage. Oh no! One more volley, and charge is denied. Just barely. Denies charge. That is brutal. Now we're working with a bunch of slow lots. Prism zoned out. He does come in from behind, does come in to reinforce. Oh. But Sig is still breaking out. Has to be so careful about those force fields. And he has to be careful. Here come the slow loss, let's go! I mean, he can still live a run, right? He still has a larger army, he's still getting on top of the robo. Immortal's getting caught out, Prism just went down. Yeah, and even without charge, Sig should still be okay here. Yeah, forced to engage, but he has the greater army. Kites back the weakened Immortals. We'll lose 1. They'll get the other. Get the other Immortals. Still a very tense fight. Zealous slow lots are coming in to reinforce. Immortal goes down. Uh-oh, Sig, we're overextending. He's overextending. They take so long to come in. The slow lot wrap around. They take so long. Ah, no. Feels slow lot, man. But GG gets called. GG gets called. We come in from behind, and alas, this is the final army of Minnow VK. GG. Sig takes game number 1. Whew. GG, well played. A very intense final moment there when it comes to that game. Again, we saw that Sig, he was kind of losing a lot of units there, losing all of his Immortals, getting caught out in a way. The Zelta having a really hard time reinforcing and adding to the fight, but he still had enough. GG. GG, well played. Whew. And that leads us into game number 2. Let's go. Leads us into game 2. As game 2 is going to be on Pylon. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner. Sorry, bottom right hand corner here, Pylon. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, representing Sidestorm Gaming. I would say the favorite player in this series down there. We'll see if we can bounce back. It is Middle VK. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Swedish Protoss player, the Swedish Protoss, the blue Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Sig. Go. And again, it was just a really rough start to the all-in from Middle VK. If you remember, he lost the Immortal. Remember, he lost the first Immortal. So for what? For a shield battery. Like, it was not worth it whatsoever. It was a really rocky start, and from there, he was just playing from being behind to being down an Immortal that shouldn't have been the case. So it was a rough setup there for Mindle. Despite that, he had some good moments where he was able to rotate between the bases and pull Sig apart at least a little bit, but in the end, Sig, he was able to build up his economy, fully saturate his natural, at least mineral-wise. That's why he was working towards charge, because he had limited gas, and charge didn't really factor in, but he had enough anyway. He could still overwhelm, even if they were just slow lots. The slow loss, baby. Let's go home. Let's go home. Once again, BabyMarine going for a 2-gate opener. Once again, Sig going for a gate expand. So we have a mirrored setup here. The same openers 2 games in a row. We have the same openers. With that, BabyMarine is going to be tempted to, yep, 1 base all in. And this time we'll see if he can preserve his units. This time we'll see if he can get the ball rolling. Again, Sig, he's known for this, known for this greed, I will say. It's interesting how he does place his buildings as well. There's a bit of a pro and con to this. On the one hand, this is technically more efficient. As you throw down your pylon and your gateway, because it's closer to the main base, you can throw this down and then go back to mining a couple of seconds faster than it would be to throw down at the wall instead. On top of that, your buildings are also safe. It means that if your opponent's going for the all-in, and if they have high ground vision, if immortals are barreling down that front door, then the production is exposed and they can focus on the gateway. So there's a bit of a give and take. The downside, of course, no SimCity. No SimCity, so adepts can threaten your bases even more, as they're free to shade in between your natural and your main. So there is that give and take. Mindle going for the proxy robo. Meanwhile, defensive robo out of Sig. Sig, he sees that the pylon is missing again. He doesn't really confirm what's going on. What's interesting as well is that Sig doesn't even move out with a second probe to scout, so he's not really checking, he's just assuming. That's a good assumption. Mindle is moving in. As you can see here, adepts, they can just shade into the main. And Mindle, this time he will commit. He commits into main base. So adepts taking 1-shot probes. 1, 2, 3 probes going to be going down, getting up to 4. Oh. Can he get up to 4? Not quite, just 3. 3 worker kills. A nice start here from BabyMarine. He does escape with 1 adept, so 1 adept for 3 probes. Not a bad trade whatsoever. And we can see that Sig is still ahead in workers. Still up in workers, still up in economy. Mindle going prison first into the bay, into proxy disruptor. Okay. We're going for the disruptors. Drops into the main base. Again, this time he went for the prism, not the immortal first. So he's dropping straight into the main base, dropping right into the mineral line, and going for economic damage. And he's finding a lot of damage. So far, getting another 3 probes. That's 6 worker kills in total. True. 6 workers in total. Mindle pulls away. Disruptors in production. And this early on, if your opponent doesn't have a War Prism, it is so difficult to dodge Novas. Without a Prism, without Blink, Novas, they can excel. So we get 3 adepts into the main base. Sig trying to react, trying to respond. Once again, their probes are going to be going down. Cancels the shade, going for the adepts. Immortal poking in. As Sig does kill 1 Stalker. Stalker going down for Mindle. Oh, getting zoned away. Getting zoned out. Mindle pulls back, Nova goes off, doesn't catch the sentries. Cheeky move there out of Mindle, doesn't pay off. The FSA still get into the main though. Get in. They do get in likewise. BabyMarine pushing here towards the right hand side. Pushing into the natural. But again, he's down in Immortals. And he cannot fight head on. This is, I mean, in a head on fight, outside of the Disruptor, of course. Oh no! The Nova! Disruptor goes down! Ooh, the Nova does graze the army. Shields are stripped. But down goes the Disruptor. Ay, ay, ay. Again, BabyMarine, he's relying so heavily on these Disruptors. For the first one to go down, that is brutal. Siggy's holding. So he's up 10 workers. Adepts do shade into the main base. Charge is on the way once again. Sig going for the same response. He's forcing back Mindle. Adepts do shade back and forth. I mean, damage is being done, true, but this is still not enough. Mindle still needs more. That does fall. Moving in, nice Nova, very nice. Catching out the immortals, one immortal goes down. This is what we needed. But is it too late? The Solos are coming, they're back. Solos are back. Nova will soon reset. We'll have another Nova ready. And again, his target should be those immortals. Remember, there's no defensive Warp Prism. Like, there's no way to juggle. Never goes up. Up. Gets another immortal. That's 2 immortals going down. There's 1 immortal left. Solid Novas. Boys are being pulled. Charge is now done. The kiting here is solid. Kiting is solid. Second immortal moves in as well. Going for the Warping right in the face of Sig. And Mindle, has he done it? Takes down the workers. Takes down the zealots. He'll soon have another Nova. Oh, has to be careful. Does have to take care. But finally, Zealot's enough economic damage. Sig falling behind. Oh, getting overwhelmed there. Never goes up. Wait for the Zealots. Gets a couple of charge lots. And again, Sig doesn't really have much to work with. Zealots pounce on the Disruptor. Oh, Disruptor goes down. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol there from BabyMarine. He will lose the Disruptor. Force to pick up. Force to get out of here. Impressive fight from Sig. He's on the chase. Another Disruptor's coming. The flanking Nova. The flanking, go for it. Oh, these immortals are so low. 1 immortal goes down. We're down to 2, down to 1. No, bit of miscontrol. Disruptor, it's so close. Yeah, Nova goes off, but last immortal does survive. And Sig, he does it. He breaks out, takes the fight. GG gets called despite some amazing Novas. Sig, he will take the game and the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. A very, very intense series here. Very intense game 1 and game 2. Especially here, like again, BabyMarine, he was fighting damage. His Novas were connecting. He was able to catch 2 immortals. He was able to cripple the economy. I say cripple the economy. Able to get 10 worker kills. Able to take an economic or worker lead. Obviously, his economy was still worse than his opponent because he was mining from 1 base instead of 2. But still, he was fighting damage. He was gaining value. But alas, he did have a hard time juggling towards the end there. He was having a hard time controlling his army. His immortals were getting picked off one after the other. He wasn't quite able to preserve them. Likewise, GG. GG well played. He was overwhelmed just barely. And congratulations, Sig. He takes a series. This is a big win for Sig. Very well done. Very well played. As I mentioned before, Sig, he's a much younger player. He's a lot newer as well. I would say that Sig, he's, again, one of the newer faces in this tournament. He only popped up on my radar at the start of the year, around the start of the year, at least in my mind, when it comes to competing in tournaments. And I remember he was speaking about it when he was playing in our tournaments as well, how he gained a lot of confidence, you know, in the previous Rising Star tournaments. And yeah, he's been dedicating a lot of time. GG well played. A very impressive win here. I will say though that from what we've seen from Sig in previous tournaments is that his weakest matchup is PvZ, and that might come into play at some point. We'll see, because we're going to be following him not into a Zerg player, into a Terran. But this is one of the favorites. Oh boy. It does not get easier. It does not get easier from here. It only gets harder and harder, because up next we're going to be featuring Sig against a Terran opponent, against a Korean Terran. Oh boy. Is going to be Sig versus a Percival. And again, Percival in my mind is one of the favorites for the entire tournament. I say one of because there's a lot of really strong names here. I said earlier Jumi, he's the reigning champion. Jumi is another big name. I'm thinking of Jumi, I'm thinking of Young Yakov, I'm thinking of Percival, I'm thinking of BabyMarine. I'm thinking of Shameless, right? There's like a select few. There's a select couple of players here that are heavy hitters, of course. Percival is one of them. And I just realized Percival, I believe, is the only... No, sorry. He's one of 2 Koreans. One of 2 Koreans in the tournament. This time, there's no Rebellion. True, I don't see Rebellion here. I don't see Lunacy. I see Percival and I see Honmono. Percival and Honmono, those are the two Koreans here in the tournament. And we'll see. We'll see how far Sig can go. Already a big win for Sig. Already very impressive. But again, it only gets harder from here. Let's go. Whew, let us go. As we're getting into game number 2. Oh, sorry, into our second series of the broadcast, match 2, game 1. And this morning, in the top right-hand corner of Leylines, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, representing Orlando, Sweden, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Sig. We go. And if you're in the chat, before I get ahead of myself, if you're in the chat, you know what's happened is it is a gamma time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Again, Sig, he's the newer up-and-comer in the European, or in StarCraft 2, in the European region. Meanwhile, Percival, he is also, in a way, kind of an up-and-comer. You know, he's been rising through the ranks a little bit longer. For those who don't know, Percival, he actually retired. He retired from StarCraft, and he only came back last year, November. So he's been back for almost a year. Not quite yet, but he's been back for almost a year. And Percival, he has shot through the ranks very, very quickly. And he has also been improving over the past 6 months. He's been looking very strong, very in form. And as a result, I would say, like, he is one of the big names to keep an eye on in this tournament to go far. So this is going to be another big challenge here for Sig. We'll see if we can rise to it. As now Sig, he's going to be scouting for a proxy. When it comes to Percival's TVP, double gas opener, going for a faster factory, delayed CC, Percival, he goes for a lot of all-ins. He is hyper aggressive in this matchup. He is hyper aggressive, and we often see him pull the boys. We often see a lot of 2-base all-ins out of Percival. It is rarer to see some longer macro games. If you remember, this kind of escalated into a series against Harsum last week, where Harsum, he did nothing but charge openers. And what is a charge opener in this matchup? And I'm going to suggest that to Sig as we step into this. It's very safe. It's very safe. What is the difference between, say, going for early charge instead of early blink? Blink, it gives you map control. It gives you map control, allows you to be active on the map, allows you to hunt down and drop play, contain your opponent, counter-attack, blink into the bases if need be, and have that micro potential. Charge, less so. Charge is designed to shut down 2-base all-ins and tank pushes, to get into that mass kind of zealot composition and a way to just shut down aggression. And Percival, he was forced to be inefficient, forced to expand at times where he didn't want to, and forced to play out longer games against Harsum, as Harsum was just being hyper defensive. If you remember, Harsum, he wasn't just opening up charge, he was going 2-base charge into I want to say 6 to 8 gateways before expanding. Like Harsum would intentionally stay on 2 bases even longer than normal before expanding, just to be hyper safe against Percival. And it worked. Did work. Did the same against Honmono, if you recall, as well. Meanwhile, double Reaper into the main base, getting 1, getting 2, getting 3 probes. 3 workers going down, getting full scout, Twilight Council opener out of Sig, and we're expecting Blink here, expecting something standard. Yep, there it is. Blink is on the way. So instead of anything too crazy defensive here, we're going for a standard opener. We're expecting 3-gate Blink into a 3rd base, which is what Percival wants. Percival, he wants to play against standard play. That's where Percival can thrive. That's where he can thrive. So far, the medevac is going to be forced to unload. Okay. Sig poking in. I mean, did scout the drop with the hallucination. Confirms the 1-1-1. Tech lab on the starport. Not going for the add-on swap into earlier stim. Going for a Raven harass. Okay. Tank production has begun. Getting to Ravens. Meanwhile, Sig takes his 3rd. Ooh, and was this 2-gate? 2-gate blink into a third. This is very old school. I mean, I say old school. This is very out of meta, out of fashion. This is very early 2025. This is like, you know, January up towards April-ish of 2025. This was very, very trendy, very popular. Nowadays, this has fallen off. Now, the reason why this build has fallen off and fallen out of favor in recent months, over the past like 4 or 5 months, is due to the rise in popularity of all-ins, of aggression. This is quite greedy, I would say, from Sig, and we'll see if we can get away with it. BabyMarine's dropping into the mineral line. Marines, they do drop off. Oh, doesn't waste a shot on the workers, but does deny mining. Mining is denied again, just holding onto that mine shot. Ideally wants to connect with the sentry, with the stalkers. Oh, speaking of, ooh, nice dodge, takes out the medevac. Army's going to be cleaned up, but still so much mining time was denied here. He does clean up, likewise. Takes on both Widow Mines. Percival building up his forces. Auto charge harassing her into the natural. Shield battery putting in a lot of work. In total, those 7 workers have gone down. Now, not at a cost. Bear that in mind. It's been at a cost here. Medevac fell. The Widow Mine drop here did fall as well. Was cleaned up. Percival does achieve some damage. Likewise, gets a full scouts. Behind this, going to charge. Centerfold, this should be into charge, then into splash damage. Oh, I was going to say into storm, but no, we're going into Colossus. But again, this is very classic. Going blink into charge, into Colossus with this third base. And we'll see if Percival can strike before Colossus, because hey, Stim is halfway done. Stim is halfway complete, so is combat shields. Shields. Still building up. So here comes Percival, he does break out. The upgrades are about to finish just as the army gets across the map. Again, Stim finishing up, combat shields in a couple of seconds, +1, also a couple of seconds off as well. And this is what Percival's been building up towards. This strong timing with Stim, +1, and his tanks. Now Sig, he's trying to slow this down, he picks away a couple of Marines. Oh, his third base is heavily saturated. Charge is done, but here comes the first Colossus, just now popping out. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be in time? He's going to have 1 Colossus. Tanks do siege. They punish the zealots. The Colossus does arrive, but now there's no shield batteries. And there's no shield batteries, and we cannot engage. A lot of tank volleys going off. The zealots are coming from behind. And it looks like Sig, he will barely have enough. Cleans up the tank, cleans up the bio army. Not the prettiest trade, but hey, he does hold. Does clean up. Whew. Takes on pro tanks, preserves the base, preserves the economy. Let's go. Sig, he holds. In the process, did lose every stalker. That's what we did notice. Percival, he was targeting down intentionally so the stalkers. So every stalker did fall. But hey, he preserves the Colossus. Percival dropping into the main. Let's drop in. Remember, because of the low stalker, I mean, we just worked with the stalkers, but the stalker count is lower than otherwise would be. Trying to get in position. Make it in time. It does make it. Drops, but despite that will unload. Going for the Colossus taking a lot of damage, but will survive. And Sig, so far, looking good. What's important here about the move out is that this was designed to break the third, and it didn't, right? Sig, he so far has gone over his economy, 4th base on the way, but Sig, he's distracted by the drops. Sig is distracted. Going for his own Zealot run by. Percival did expand, did get a 3rd CC. Percival moving in between the bases. Going for the natural. Gets a pylon. Storm is not ready. Ooh, gets into the mineral line. Yeah, again, Sig, his arm was in position for the drop, not for the army. And He's gonna be losing a lot of probes. That's gonna be 6. Oh god, 20, 21, 22, 22 probe kills, and we pick up and we barely lose anything. A handful of Marines, handful of Marines just went down. At the same time, Zelrama hit towards the third base, but there are reinforcements back at home to defend. And Percival, he just cripbles the economy. 23 probe kills, he defends back at home. And Siggy's counterattacking. He's counterattacking, sending everything he can across the map. He will catch some medevacs, not bad. Gets 1, gets 2 medevacs. As Percival does rally over the army. But Sig, he's committed. We gotta go. And he has Storm in 2 seconds. But he only has 1 High Templar. He's got 1 Storm. Good connection. Storm does connect. First Colossus is not gonna go down. Oh, there we go. First Colossus does fall. He's got a couple of Vikings, and Colossus is so low from earlier. Does go down as well. And Sig, he's just running out of steam. Running out of army. He had to break through. I say that. Does get into the middle line. 18 SCVs. Okay. Zelsa peeled off during the fight. 18 SCV kills, not bad. And Sig has got his 4th base. He's reprobing, resaturating. The problem, though, the biggest problem that just happened here, yes, gets economic damage, which is great. What did it cost him, though? All the Colossus. Colossus count was reset. That is brutal. He lost the Colossus, he lost the Archon, and he lost the High Templar as well. So the splash damage is non-existent. We have 1 High Templar. This is it. This is the splash damage. 1 Templar. He's gonna have energy overcharge, so he can of course have a Storm ready. There's not too much to threaten him, so there's the energy overcharge. Storms are ready. He's good to go. The Colossus just now popping out, and Siggy should be able to hold on. Yeah, here he should hold. Thankfully, he traded well enough against Percival, where Percival didn't have enough to counterattack either. But so far, we have a back and forth. Sig enjoying his 4-base setup. Has a fully saturated his 4 bases. I'm still concerned about the low Colossus count though. Again, 1 Colossus, 1 High Templar. Sig, he has a couple of Storms. He has 1 Storm left. Vikings extended the Storms. High Templar goes down. Another High Templar going to be morphing in. Zealots, they trade well for themselves. They chase down the Marauders. And they chase him down. Vikings force a land. Cleans up all the Zealots. Storm is not ready. But the Colossus is. Colossus does hold on. Does hold on. Likewise, Storm popping up. So far, he's gonna say that he will lose a Colossus in the process. Running out of Zealots, his army's exposed. Yeah, he does overextend here. I say overextend, I mean he was fighting for his 4th base. No more shield batteries, no more energy. Now he's out of splash damage. And Percival looks like he's done it. Looks like he is breaking through. There's 1 Colossus coming in to reinforce. He needs that Colossus. Desperately, it's coming in. But we're just rallying. At this one, we're just rallying across the map. Percival, he has broken the expansion, broken the 4th. There just aren't enough Zealots. There's just not enough support. And the expansion will fall. And not just the base, but from here we can go for the army. It is, takes down the Nexus. So again, just still rallying across the map. Too many losses here for Sig. He just wasn't able to build up his Colossus count over time. He never had more than 2. Never more than 2 Colossus. Speaking of, another Colossus goes down. Oh no! Links forward into the army, and he will lose all these Stalkers. Not like this. Another Colossus coming in. The army is oversimmed. But again, what is Sig fighting for here? I mean, he is re-expanding. True, he does save his probes. Okay. Does save his workers. He can go back to mining. getting a 5th base. I mean, hey, thankfully, because the worker count was untouched, he's able to just resaturate, repopulate his own 4th base. But again, the production here is stifled. Like, again, he's limited to just the 1 robo. He doesn't have the economy right now with extra casters to afford a 2nd robo. So he's just making 1 Colossus at a time. And as long as Percival can just get on top of that Colossus count, so I mean, Sig, he just cannot recover. As Sig now just now getting a 2nd Colossus for the first time in a long time. Storm connects. Scan those real southern base. Percival moving in. So we do see Percival swinging up his army. Yeah, this time going for a split push. This time, ooh, Sig, he overreacts to 1. He rallies everything over. And while he's being distracted, the 4th base. The 4th base is going to go down. Nice EMPs. Ghosts have now hit the field. This entire time, Percival has been building up. He's now getting a 4th base of his own. Percival, his own economy has been untouched this entire time. Outside of the initial move out, of course, to hit the natural. And down goes the expansion. Not the workers, but the base. Oh no! Oh, thank you. Probes didn't get away. Now the 5th base is under fire. And Siggy's all in. Siggy's all in. Oh god. Lands a couple of storms, but he gets surrounded. He will lose everything. GG gets called, and Percival takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. With that, Percival, who'll take lead in the series. Shout out to Sig. Again, Sig, he was able to hold his own for quite some time. I was very impressed with his counterattack, with his ability to peel off some units, get into the mid line, get some economic damage, likewise to defend back at home and barely hold on to his 3rd and then his 4th base thereafter as well. Again, a very intense couple of moments there. In the end, Percival, he was able to just maintain map control, expand behind it, and just snowball out of control, tech up, work towards 3-3, and just outscale Sig. But hey, again, Sig, he was able to hold his own for quite some time against Percival, which is more than what I expected, for sure. GG. GG, well played. Percival takes the lead, and now we're getting to game number 2. We'll see if Percival can close it out here, and now we'll see if Sig can recover and force the ace match. Let's go. Let's go. And as we're getting into this, a big shout out to Gnome Chomsky in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifted subs to the community. The 5 gifted subs to Hyper1, to Chrisu, to BattleMech, to the Alpha Guy, and to Invert FNU as well. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. Do appreciate it. As always. Este Gnome Chomsky. 2025 is old school. Just how many metas did we turn to get a 2025 strat to end up old school? True. I mean, we've mentioned this before, but TVP has changed the most this year. I want to say that we've gone through like 3 or 4 different metas in TVP over the past 8 months. Like, unironically, like it's been changing and shifting a lot over the past 8 months. I want to say between 3 and 4. I'll settle on 3. But here we go. We're going to be getting into our next game. We're going to be loading into game number 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the blue Protoss player. Sorry, the blue Terran player. The blue Terran player, the South Korean Terran, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Swedish Protoss player, the red Protoss. Representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Sig. Go. Whew. Okay, and again, a very intense game 1. Percival, he was very committed, very aggressive on 2 bases, and he was not able to break the back of Sig. He was able to hold his own, survive the aggression for a time before eventually, he did succumb. He did succumb to Percival. as after a certain point, Sig was purely on the defensive, and Percival, as he was being aggressive, was expanding, was tagging, getting into Ghost, getting into 2-2 and then 3-3 upgrades, getting a 4 TC up and running. Percival was looking very comfortable back at home. As Sig was struggling under the weight of all that pressure. But here we go. Now getting into game 2, welcome one and all to Tokamak. I would have assumed that Percival would take this opportunity to go for something more economic, to go for a Rax expand, but no, double gas opener into a factory once again. The same opener initially here from Percival, but we'll see if he goes into another mine drop. As a reminder, last game was a mine drop with Raven Harass into the eventual stim timing. Here we could see once again a mine drop, we could see Reaper Hellion into a Hellion drop, we could see early Cyclone, we could see Banshee play. True, Banshee play is something that we did not explore in game 1 and is available, is accessible here to Percival in game number 2. Again, this is just a very versatile opener, which can lead a couple different ways. Meanwhile, once again, Twilight Council. Now, Sig, when it comes to his 2-gate opener that we saw last game, 2-gate into a 2-gate blink into a third, I was questioning it in game 1, but here in game 2, it's going to be a little more viable here, just because the map is larger, more defensive. Reaper Hellion pokes in, but so far, Sig holds. Sig, he deflects. Does deflect. Defense is natural. And we'll see where this takes us. As once again, we're going for the mine drop. Okay, so far, looking very similar. Going for the mine drop follow-up. It is Tech Lab on the starport. So last game, this led into Raven Harass. See if he does so again. And Sig going for the same build, 2-gate blink. 2-gate blink straight into a third. Stalkers do fan out. Percival moving in. Wouldn't mind drop into the natural. Does boost forward. Sig, he does notice. And hopefully, yeah, there we go. He does pull away. Does pull away in time. Some burrow there out of Percival. Likewise gets into the main base. Hellion shot's going to be going off. Probes are going down. Yeah, 4 probe kills so far. Mine shots connect, 8 probes falling in total. Ay. This is getting a little bit out of hand, getting up to 10 probes. And the Widowmines escape. Ooh, they escape, they survive, which means we can go for another job. We can always bounce back. Back at home, Percival, he defends. And Percival this time has gotten a much stronger start to the game. Again, 10 worker kills. Back boost away. Oh no! Almost getting caught out. Can he unload? Ooh, unloads 1. And does borrow. Whew. Does barely borrow. See Percival trying to catch the army in the center. Did go for a Banshee, not Raven. We spoke about that. Is going into Banshee play. Not Cloak, but Banshee's to support. Couple of boys are being pulled. And Percival's already moving out. Again, he didn't notice how fast the third base was. He's here to punish. Tanks are moving in. Ooh. The Banshee's very low. The Banshee has to pull back. SCVs, they can't repair. So there we go. We have a couple of repairs here on the Banshee. Tanks are trying to get within range. Boys are being pulled. Only 1 tank does siege. And the Stalkers are being targeted. Massive tank shots going off. Down to 1 Stalker. Down to 0. Another Banshee arrives. Oof. Yeah, with that, these workers are going to go down. We're still just rallying across the map as well. Shield Battery's doing what he can. But this is getting out of hand. Let's get another 5 worker kills. Percival, he is looking very comfortable here. 47 probes, or 48 SCVs. He's up in workers, up in economy. He has broken the defenses here at the third. And again, just a much more aggressive style here from Percival. Started with a mine drop, true, but then straight into tank production, straight into Banshees. And he's just been rallying across the map early on. Remember, this is pre-stim. No stim, no +1, no combat shields. This is a much earlier move out. And again, the backbone of the army are the Banshees and the tanks, not the Marines. Ooh, as he gets an Immortal. Wall goes down, another tank does siege. Just focusing down the Stalkers. Getting 1, 2, 3 Stalker kills. Oh no! Getting a 4th Stalker. Barely not. Barely gets away. Percival, he's running out of steam a little bit here. He's maybe rallying a little bit too much. Ah, never mind. Just that one Banshee. Jeez, just bullying the Immortal. Oh, there's the boys! Let's go! Okay. They don't get the Immortal. It survives with 1 HP. The Immortal lives. We almost had an SCV kill an Immortal, which has happened before. Almost. Casito, papi, casito. But Siggy barely holds on. He does save the expansion, but he lost a lot of workers in the process. Behind this, getting a 4th base, rallying across the map. Percival, I believe his tank count was reset. Yeah, 0 tanks. 0 tanks. He's done with tank production. Now working towards stim, +1, combat shields. And I do give the edge to Percival. On the one hand, you might be thinking, oh, but Sig, he saved the base. Yes, but he also lost a lot of his army. He also lost his economy, the workers. Workers that go down. Here, Sig, he should be further ahead in terms of probe count. Oh. Ooh, the Immortal does go down. The 1 HP Immortal. Did fall. And Percival has momentum. Again, Percival, he has a better economy. Now getting a 4th TC. Sig, he should already be on 4 bases at this point. And he is not. And Percival, he's looking to overrun. And there's 0 splash damage. No Storm. No Colossus. No nothing. Just slow lots. Yeah, slow lots, an Immortal, a Stalker. No shield barriers. It wasn't rebuilt. It wasn't replaced. Mine shots are popping up. And Sig just doesn't have an army. He just doesn't have a force to work with. GG gets called, and Percival, with hyper aggression, with just non-stop rallying across the map, does overwhelm, does overrun, and he will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And again, this is more of what we expected out of Percival. This is also why it is risky to go for these greedy builds. I mean, I say this is why the opener that Sig was going for is out of meta. It's out of meta, out of fashion. Going 2-gate blink into a 3rd base, it does leave you vulnerable to move out specifically like this. It does feel like Percival adjusted after the first game. He recognized, hold up, if you're being this greedy, I'm gonna punish you. I'm gonna just rally across the map as quickly as possible. Again, that was all before stim. Without stim, without any kind of bio upgrades, with early tanks and Banshees instead. And it was able to take over the 3rd base. Barely didn't kill the 3rd. True, didn't kill the base, but traded very well against the workers and against the main army as well. GG. GG, well played. With that, Percival, he does claim the series, and with that, Percival does advance on to the next round. Un momento. Does advance on. Now, if you're a fan of Middle VK, if you're a fan of Sig, do not worry, do not fret, because they have been knocked down to the lower bracket, right? It is double elimination. There is a lower bracket. They're going to be knocked down to the lower bracket, where they will have another chance to redeem themselves, to bounce back up, and to fight through that lower bracket, have another chance here to claim the tournament. So best of luck to Sig, best of luck to Minute VK. Shout out to Percival. Again, Percival, he does come in as the heavy favorite, but again, Sig, he looked the most impressive in Game 1. Like, Game 1 was the most impressive that we saw out of Sig, where he was the most comfortable, of course, where Percival, he was unable to punish him early on, and we had that back and forth. Regardless, GG, well played. That leads us into our next series of the broadcast. Up next, we have a Zerg versus Terran matchup, and we're going to be featuring another up-and-coming player. I said earlier how Sig is maybe like one of the newer faces when it comes to the participant list of this tournament. I'll have to take that back. I think maybe Mini Zerg might be instead. Mini Zerg, of course, he is a very young player, also as an up-and-comer, also I want to say just low GM kind of level here, rising through the ranks. He's a Ukrainian Zerg player, and he only popped up on my radar again earlier this year, so we'll see how far he can go. Likewise, Moja, he's a little bit more of a veteran, at least in comparison to these other players, and coming into this, Moja is going to be coming in as a favorite player. And strap yourselves in, because I am fully expecting mech. I'm fully expecting mech, papi. Yeah. But yo, a shout out to Inko in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime in the chat. We do appreciate the support for 2 months. For 2 months. Thank you, papi. Thank you. Always do appreciate it. As we're getting into our next game, getting to our next series. Oh boy. Here we go. But yes, Moja, he is a German Terran player. If you haven't heard of him before, Moja, he debuted last year in Home Story Cup. Home Story Cup I think it was, God, the years blend together. It was either last year or the year before. It was last year, right? Last year's Home Story Cup would have been Home Story Cup like 26 or 25. But I believe end of last year. Where Moja, he's been a ladder hero. He's been a ladder hero for many, many years. He's been around for a long time, but he hasn't competed for a long time. It was only recently, relatively recently, where he where he went to Home Story Cup. He was invited. And after that tournament, you know, he got that competitive drive in him. You know, suddenly he had to scratch that itch, and he's been playing in more tournaments, or just in tournaments in general, which was never the case before. And he's been looking quite strong, looking quite powerful. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Leylands. We have the German Terran player. We have the Red Terran. It is Moja. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Ukrainian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Hokago T-Team. God damn it, of course he is. Hokago T-Team, it is Mini Zerg. And I assumed we were going for a 2-axe opener, but no, it's not 2-axe Reaper. I mean, it kind of is, but one of them is proxied, one is back at home. So this is more committed here from Moja. If you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Also, Hokago T-Team is a team full of weeps. That's why the logo are panties. God damn. They're corrupting the youth, papi. They're corrupting the... Leave Mini Zerg alone. God damn it. These goddamn weebs. He probably has the Diva announcer as well. God damn it. Yes, that is Hokago T-Team, HT-Team. As we are going to be settling in, so far the Reapers are going to be amassing. They're building up. They're moving out. I'm just shaking my head. Meanwhile, we do see a hatch gas full standard opener at a Mini Zerg, but again, the Reapers are going to be building up. Mini Zerg, he's currently unaware. He scouts across the map. He sees that there's only one Rax. This could be a Rax into factory, into CC, but even then, we'd see the factory on the way, so this is very suspicious to the Overlord, and we'll see how Mini Zerg does react. As the first Reaper has arrived, and ooh, the initial third base is going to be denied. Oh my god. Drone goes down, brutal pickup. Takes down the drone, denies the third, does contain on 2 bases. Now the Reapers are moving in. Reapers are moving in. Link speed is on the way. And Links are already going to be going down. Yeah, nice trades here from the Reapers. Behind this, building up another wave. Now would be the time to go for add-ons, as he's getting up to 4 Reapers. And the Queens, they can hold their own, but it isn't about breaking the Queens. It isn't about breaking the expansion. It's about denying. It's about denying the third base and containing Mini Zerg on 2 bases for as long as possible. That is the goal here for Moja. I mean, if you can get anything more, that's a bonus. Meanwhile, Link speed is halfway done. Threatening the quad. Oh, he's going to go for the Queen. Doesn't quite get it. Reaper taking a lot of damage. Nice control out of Moja. Does pull away in time. And we're going for a Ling Flood. Yeah, we're going for a Ling Flood. You can see here 12 more Zerglings in production, making nothing but Lings. No more drones. He's not just going for the Ling Flood, he's going for the Bane Bust. No boy, he's going for the Bust. Again, you can see this wall is vulnerable. The add-ons are vulnerable as well. Mini Zerg is all in. Mini Zerg is completely all in. Fun fact, this is how I respond to 2-Rex Reaper as well. This is one of the options. This is one of your options. If your opponent doesn't scout this, then this can work. If Moja sees the bathing nest, it looks like he will. Yeah, the Rax is going to scout this, is going to spot, and all he needs are bunkers. He needs bunkers and Hellions. And there we go. He does get eyes on the bathing nest. He knows. He knows what's going on. Back at home, we need to wall up. There it is. Bunkers on the way. He needs that bunker as quickly as possible. Ideally, a re-wall behind the depot as well. The depot is the weak point in the defense. Bailings are going to be morphing in. And can Mini Zerg pull this off? Can he break through? The bunker will complete. Second bunker behind this. I wouldn't have minded that second bunker a little bit front forward here to just fully wall. Really going for it further back. Hellions are popping out. Ooh. And down goes the initial wall. We're going to be loading up that bunker. Its bunker falls as well. This one Bailing left. Ooh, Bailing does go down. And that choke point is brutal. Yeah, the choke point is brutal. With that Moja, he should be able to hold on here. I say that Lings are coming from behind. There's one more Bailing. One more Bailing. Oh my god. Surrounds the Hellion. Takes over the natural. There's still Reapers, but the bunker barely did not finish. Barely not. Hellion pops out. Doesn't get surrounded. And Moja holds. And Moja, he holds. He defends. We have a couple of Zerglings trickling in. The bunker does complete. And Moja, he will only lose 8 workers. And what's scary here, yes, he lost 8 SCVs. He's still ahead. He's still up in workers. Mini Zerg still has no third base. And of course, we have Mules on top of that as well. As Mules, they just hit the field. So Moja, he is miles ahead. He's re-walling, and Mini Zerg is still all in. And this all in is getting weaker and weaker over time. It's getting weaker. Banshee about to pop out. And nothing here shoots up. The Banshee now has arrived. The wall has been rebuilt. And Moja spots the Bailings. Gets one Bailing already. Gets one. Gets two. Wall is broken. But we're just getting free damage with the Banshee. Oh god, the Hellions. They just roast up the Zerglings. GG gets called. And Moja, he will survive. He will take game number 1. GG. Moja, he does take a lead in the series. Again, Moja is coming in as the favorite player. And we saw a very quirky build here. Again, Mini Zerg unfortunately took him a little bit too long to realize what was happening. Because of that, he pulled out of gas a little bit earlier. He tried to expand and get a third base, which was never going to happen. And he was just bullied early on. Yes, he went for the Bane Bus follow-up, but he got scattered. I mean, thanks to the proxy racks, he was able to float in like an overlord. He saw the Bailing nest and bam, bunkers were thrown down. Imagine that game without any bunkers. Imagine that game without that response, that earlier response from Moja, as he had 2 bunkers, if you recall, throwing down 2 bunkers and setting up for the bust. Was able to prepare in time, thanks to the scout, thanks to the racks. And with that, we're now getting into game number 2. Game 2 is going to be on Ultra Love. Now, not saying that the Rax was the only way to scout. If there wasn't a proxy Rax, it was just straight up 2 Rax Reaper, then Moja most likely would have thrown away a couple of Reapers to scout, right? To dive into the main base, to get behind the mineral line, and to scout the main base in that way. Would have cost him even more to do so, as he most likely would have lost some Reapers in the process. But here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the German Terran player. We have the Red Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Moja. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Oh, going for a 12 pool. Okay. Going for the 12 pool here, we have the Ukrainian Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing her Cargo T-Team. Shaking my head every time. It is Mini Zerg. Here we go. Moja once again going for 1 Rax back at home and 1 Rax across the map. Same build, 2 Rax Reaper, 1 Proxied, 1 not. Meanwhile, Mini Zerg is going for the 12 pool into double gas, into most likely not a Bane Bust, Roach Rush. We're expecting a Roach Warren here. You don't need this much gas for a Bane Bust. That's an excessive amount of gas here, so we're going for the Roaches instead. Now, this can work. Unfortunately, these Reapers will be able to scout, will be able to get a heads up and confirm what's going on. On top of that, because of the spawn location or because of Ultra Love, we have a ramp coming into the natural. So this ramp, this natural is more defensive, is more defendable than the previous map, than ley lines. As we have that added defensive feature. Likewise, the add-ons are going to be safer as well, as they're going to be on the other side of the wall. So there's a lot going Moja's way here. But first things first, he has to confirm. He has to go in, he has to confirm. As he does dip in, he does confirm no base. Yeah, no base, no expansion, that's a massive tell. And he sees all the gases. He confirms the Roach one as well. He's fully worthy all in. Here come the Ravagers. And Moji setting up. Setting up back at home. Bunker is already halfway done. Marines are amassing. This Reaper can threaten the mineral line. There's no queen. So these Ravagers, as they move out, if the Reaper goes in, there's nothing here. There's nothing to defend. And here they come. Oof. Yeah, Reapers are going in. There's no Zerglings, no Roaches, no Queens. Mini Zerg, he's supply blocked. No. Now is not the time. And drones are gonna fall. Yeah, drones are going down. There's nothing to defend. The Ravagers are moving out. Brutal supply block. And this is looking rough here because it's only 3 Ravagers. There's nothing. There's no things. There's no more Roaches, no more Zerglings. Voids are pulled to repair, and everything is going down. Yeah, Mini Zerg just being completely shut down here. Ay, ay, ay. Mini Zerg, he came into this tournament wanting to play some StarCraft, but it's not going to happen. Game 1, I mean, he attempted to try to punish the 2-axe Reaper with his own Bane Blast. Here in Game 2, he himself did decide to go into his own all-in. Off the bat, regardless of what was happening, but yeah, just completely shut down. He will lose every single drone. And again, he only has 3 Ravagers left. Only 3 Ravagers. That's all he's got. Technically, these Reapers will eventually kill the buildings, and they will eliminate Mini Zerg. As long as the Reapers don't get surrounded by Broodlings, of course. And yeah, he's not going to get in. he's not going to get in. GG gets called, and Maja, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played, and this series didn't really go the way that I expected. Moja, he can be a very cheesy player. I say cheesy. He can be a quirky player, and if you remember, I was expecting mech. I was getting ready to just strap in, you know, get some snacks and jump into like a 45-minute game 1 with me. No, really fast games here. We had these aggressive starts out of Mojo. We had Mini Zerg trying to punish the aggression, especially in game 1. Specifically, he was trying to punish the aggression in game 1. He did fail to. He got scouted, got shut down. Here in game 2, he himself was trying to be cheeky, but unfortunately, Moja was going for the same opener, the same build, a 2-axe Reaper with the excess Reapers. He punished Mini Zerg, and that was game. That was game then and there. With that, congratulations. Moja, he will be claiming the series, and Mini Zerg, unfortunately, he just wasn't quite able to get into his own game in this series, wasn't able to get into his own matches. In the end, was overwhelmed, and now we're going to be going on a short break. Here. We are halfway through the broadcast. 5 best of 3s, and we've already wrapped up 3 of them. Already wrapped up 3 best of 3s, and let's catch up with the bracket first. Let's catch up on what's been going on. Here we go. That was a weird build. I mean, it didn't help that he also got supply blocked, if you remember. Because he got supply blocked, there were no Ling reinforcements behind the Ravagers, so that it just didn't really have any bite to it. If you remember, after the supply block was alleviated, he was droning, and yeah, again, no Queen to defend, no Lings behind it either, so GG. GG well played. But when it comes to the bracket itself, let us head on over here and let's catch up on these matches. From the top, we had Sig. Sig took down MinoVK. Actually, there we go. Sig took down MinoVK and went down to Percival. But again, a really strong showing, really nice showing out of Sig. I do think that he impressed me. He impressed me in his series against Middle and in game 1 against Percival as well. Percival, he advances on and he's waiting for the winner of the next series. Moja takes down Mini Zerg, and Moja is now up against Eva in the second round. Oh boy, they're facing off in the second round. Winner of that goes up against Percival as well. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, Iba and Moja going to be coming at you. See you soon. And I'm hoping it's going to be a bit of a longer series than what we just saw. But do I really want to say that? Because again, I said it before, I'll say it again. I was expecting mech out of Moja. If we do get into the mid game, that's going to be a lot more viable here out of Moja. There's a higher chance that we're going to get there. But now that we're going to be going on that break, again, take this time to get to stretch your roaches, to massage your marines, to hydrate all of your hydras, and to cuddle your carriers. When we come back, we'll have our next matchup. See you soon. See you soon after the break. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. Welcome back to the OSC Elite Rising Star number 16, day number 1, part 2. Part 2, as we are jumping into our 9th best of 3. We had 10 in total. 10 in total. This is number 9, and we have one more after this as well. Moja, he just had his way with Mini Zerg, just had his way with him, as you know, went both ways in a sense, where Moja was hyper aggressive, very in the face of his opponent, and Mini Zerg had a really hard time dealing with that aggression. Tried to go for his own aggressive build in game 2, but it did fall in its face. But now Moja's going up against someone who's a lot more closer in skill. You know, Moja, he's more experienced, he was the greater player against Mini Zerg. Here I would say that it's a little closer between Moja and Eba. I might even want to lean towards Eba, but at the same time I'm also aware that Eba's out of practice. Eba, he's been out of practice. He has been streaming less, has been playing less. He was on vacation, that's why. He went on vacation, so he just wasn't available to practice the ladder to compete. And so because of that, I don't really know how to rate these two. In my mind, we could even go to the ace match, but we'll see. We'll see. The pressure is going to be on, and we're going to be jumping into our best of 3. Game 1 is going to be on ley lines. Let's go. Let us go. So we're getting into our next matchup. And spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the German Terran player. We have the red Terran representing himself. Quarantineless, just with Mini Zerg, it is Moja. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. With the blue Zerg player, we have representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Eva. Off racing a Zerg. Let's go. Let's go. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our Zerg versus Terran matchup. Let's go. Let us go. Oh, as Moja, is he just going for the same build every game? Is that what's going to happen? Opening up 2 Rax Reaper. 2 Rax Reaper, 1 Rax back at home, 1 proxied across the map. We saw this both games against Mini Zerg, and now we're seeing it here against Eba as well. So same opener, time and time again. We'll see if Eba responds with a Bane Bust or if he just defends and macros out of it. Likewise, I don't know how familiar our players are with each other. We're seeing nothing but this from Moja, and if he does this on the ladder as well, then Eba will be more prepared. Assuming they play off. As the Raxes are finishing up, Reapers are on the way. Reapers are going to be on the way, and Eba, he is still in the dark. He will soon find out what's happening with the initial Overlord. And once again, though, once he sees the wall off, he'll assume that, I mean, it could still be Rax into Factory or just Rax Expand, which is, again, just really peculiar. SV moves in. Reapers are on the way. And we'll see how Eba does respond. As Reaper is spotted, Eba gets eyes on the wall up here at the low ground. Despite that, he's still going for the third base, and the goal, remember, the goal for Moja is to delay and deny the third. Reaper moves in. Ooh, and he's going for the drone. As Jordan just headed over to the gas guys. Oh, and it will. The jukes were very clutch, very close. Morse into the gas. That does save the worker. Get nice jukes out of Eba. Does fake out Moja. Queen pops out. And Eba holds. Eba, he is holding. But again, the third base is delayed. And Moja, ideally, he wants that drone. Does one as we do morph into another gas geyser. Queens are zoning away, more Reapers are building up. Link speed is in production here for Eba. And Moja, he shouldn't get the Queen. Shouldn't get the Queen. Eba's, again, contained on 2 bases. And we'll see how hard Eba commits. As Eba, he pulls out of gas. Okay, no Bane Bust. No Bane Bust. He pulls out of gas. Just droning up behind this. Getting some Zerglings, of course, to survive. Queens are building up, and eventually Eba will break out. Eventually Eba will be able to expand. Likewise, you already see Moja, he's working his way out of this. The third CC is on the way, third CC before Starport. And you might be thinking, this should lead into a 2-1-1 because of the scouting ranks. If you remember, I said this at the start of the previous series, I expected mech out of Moja. I'm still expecting that here as well. We'll see if we throw down another factory or not, as this Rax is not going back home. Again, 2 Rax Reaper into mech is not unheard of. So far, just going for the Starport after the CC. Still have to piece together what's going on. I mean, hey, Moja, he is on clan 8 Racks in game, so that's also another factor. We have seen Moja 8 Racks before as well. True, true. Also on the table. As we do have the add-on sword, but that is a tech lab on that Rax. This tells us that most likely this is going to be bio. Okay. Going for the tech lab. Assuming this isn't for an add-on sword, but it shouldn't be. Yeah, it shouldn't be for an add-on sword, so this should be for bio. Let's go. Is it for the 8 Rax? It's too early to really confirm that. As Reba Helly does move out. Moving down the Queens. But again, we have a couple of transfuse available. And clutch transfuse keeps the Queens alive. Queens are survive. Moja is deflected. Behind this, yep, double eBay. No, okay. Double eBay this early on. This does look like the beginning of an A-Rax. It might be a little bit too early to tell. But basically, we're delaying stim. We're delaying additional Raxes as well in favor of 1-1. This is going to hit a very strong 2-2 timing. Very strong. With Mass Bio. So this is kind of like the first sign of an A-Rax. It's just the early 1-1 upgrades. Eba back at home. Saturating his third. Getting into Ling Bane. Moja will lose one of the Hellions. One Hellion goes down. Throws down 4 Raxes. So far he's getting up to 5. We're expecting 3 more. At this point, we're expecting 3 more Raxes after the third base gets placed. And we're expecting 1 gas at most, and there it is. There's those 3 Raxes, 8 Rax. So bam, we do have our 8 Rax, and again, seeing the double eBay was the first sign of that. Bullings, they come in for this around. They catch out some of the Hellions, not bad. Yeah, Hellions, they get caught out, they get surrounded. Very nice cleanup here by Eba. Ooh, as a couple of Hellions do barely get away on very low HP. But Eba still has to confirm what's going on. Now, Moja does have a reputation, so Eba, he might just assume what's happening. But ideally, you do want to confirm. Eba, he's going to have to cut workers a little bit. I mean, I say cut workers. There are a couple of different ways to respond to something like an 8 Rax. Obviously, we're not going into roaches, so it's going to be a Ling Bane defense here out of Eba. Taking up too quickly can get you killed. We can say Eba, he isn't really droning too hard either, though. His 4th base is a little more delayed. He's droning up to 72. Again, he has to drone up as quickly as possible and then focus on purely Ling Bane production. Taking up into Hydras can get you killed. Because this is a 3-base all-in. Remember, we already have the 8 Raxes. We're not getting add-ons on those extra 3 Raxes. So no extra add-ons and no extra gases. He's living up to his clan name. True, it is. Ooh, Hydrogen is on the way. This is greedy. That's what I will say. This is greedy. Taking up in such a fashion. Like, if he goes for a Hydrogen and goes for a Hive and starts taking to Lurkers. Like, Lurkers is a win condition. If you can get into Lurker tech while your opponent's A-Raxing, then you can just hold and defend and survive and just overwhelm. That's a big if, though. So here comes Moja. Does push forward. Stepping on in. Eva trying to find a better angle. There are only a couple of Hellbats though. Only a couple of Hellbats. Lings, they collapse in. The Hellbats, they trade well for themselves. And the tanks will barely go down. It cleans up all the tanks. And Eva, he defends against the first wave. And remember, this wave hit 3-2-2. Like, 2-2 is still halfway done. But Moja is still rallying in. He smells blood in the water. There's only one Bailing, which means he can just stim. Yeah, he can stim forward. He can get on top of the queens. Bailings are being denied. There's one Bailing. Ooh, nice target firing. Very nice. And this might just be it. This might just be it. We have Bailings just now morphing in. Nice spread. Very nice spread by Moja. He splits. He spreads. Takes care of all the Bailings, and that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. He has broken through. 0 Bailings remaining. Hatchery will fall. And from here, he can just keep going. Yeah, he can just keep going. He can chase down Eba. Eba, he was taking into Hydras. As we mentioned, this is greedy. Like, taking up into Hydras like this, it was a little bit greedy there from Eba. As we needed to just double down on pure Ling Bane. The first fight didn't go too poorly, but again, he lost too many Bailings. Or just didn't have any more left. Moja at this point just rallying. Just rallying on forward. Eva, a couple of Bailings are connecting, only a couple there. Oh, he's got more. And more Bailings coming in, gets on top of the tank. Okay. Eva takes care of both tanks. Very nice. Both tanks go down, and with the help of the Queen Hydra, he will be able to force this back. It's still so close though. He's running out of Zerglings. Again, this kind of army needs Link support. Without it, these Hydras are so vulnerable, they're so fragile. But the longer this goes on, the better it is for Eba. Eba, he hasn't lost many drones. If you look at the unit source tab, he's lost bases, true, but he did preserve his workers. That's what's important here. He just transferred over. And remember, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Eba. And we're getting longer. Eba, he holds. He does hold, does survive. Remember, Moja, he has no follow-up, he has no gases. He does have a 4th CC, but he has no gases for extra factories, for further tech. And Eba's in a stronger position. And now that he got away with the Hydgen, what do we have? Lurkers. Lurker den's on the way. Infestation is on the way. You could argue that this could have been thrown down a little bit earlier, once like we realized that we did hold. Oh, did I speak too soon though? Hydra's getting caught out. Tanks survive. Like, this army's still terrifying. Again, Eba's win condition is Lurker tech. Can he get there? Like, Moja, he has no gas for Ghosts or for Marauders. Like, it's pure... Again, this is a 3-base all-in. It's pure Marine tank. That's what an ARAX is. So if Eba can survive to Lunkers, then he can pop up. We have one safety infestor on the way. Lurker 10 is done. Lurker Zep, there we go, they're morphing in. And again, there's just no good answer for the Lurkers. That's why there's an expiration date here on an ARAX. Tanks are moving forward. Moja moving in. Yeah, Lurkers are spotted, and 3 Lurkers will be able to burrow. They're a little bit further back. God, let's just see a Marines. Oh god! Splits not there. Yeah, the splits are not there. Bailings connect. Lurker shots going up. Nice fungal. Very nice fungal. And Lurker's a morph in just in time. Eba, he will hold. And again, the soup does lie. Like, technically, Moja, he's up in supply, but the army supply here is less effective. Again, it's pure Marine tank. It cannot push into these Lurkers. It's not going to happen. Limited production has begun. That's going to be Moja's answer. Still just purely rallying. Now, if Eba gets caught out of position, this can still work. As Eba is being spread thin. He's got 2 Lurkers to protect the space. 2 Lurkers here. Eba's mainly on the top side. But Eba, he's being given time. Does race back over. Moja pulling back. He's now getting a second factory. Still has yet to take extra gases. As he's mining out. Right, through his third, his main. Let's have a fourth. There we go. Now a gas is being taken. Both armies are maxing out. But again, I do favor Eba in a head-on fights. Liberators, they will help. All comes down to the engage. As Eba has built up his Ling Bane Hydro Viper even. Oh. And again, this army is so vulnerable to spellcasters, whether it's Infestors, whether it's Vipers. This army just doesn't scale well into a longer game. Eba has to be careful there. Like, we gotta attack with everything. Eba, we gotta calm down. Yeah, Lurker's getting called out. Eba, he has to retreat. Viper's getting called out as well. Liberators are sieged. He's right into the Blinding Clouds. Moja, he does kite back. For the most part, he spreads well. But there's still so many Lurkers. So what, 5 Lurkers on the high ground. Moja force retreat. There we go. Gas is now being taken. Now we can start working towards a ghost. I mean, Ghost Company is done. Now we can start getting into ghost production. Now we can start actually building up an army. And Moja is getting there. He is transitioning out. It took a while. It's not easy. But he's refining his army. He's refining. Eba, meanwhile, he's down to 1 Viper. 1 Viper, 1 Infestor. The spellcasters here are lackluster. There's not really many spellcasters for Eba. There we go. We have 1 more Viper on the way. A lot of this will come down to the spellcaster usage, to the Blinding Clouds, and also to the EMPs and snipes. The ghost count is still not quite there yet, though, for Moja. He literally just has 1. Just 1 ghost. Nice abduction. It's a tank. It's a liberator. Moja moving in. Moja pushing him to the bases. I mean, the creep is almost non-existent here for Eba. But he's trying to come in from behind. Oh, okay. Bold move. Attempted surround. Anyways, he's got 2 Vipers. Vipers, they lead the charge. Diving in the army. Lurkers do burrow. Oh, the EMPs do connect. But nice Blinding Cloud. Covers one of the tanks. Yeah, tank gun is reset. And Moja has to pull out. Oh. Trying to catch out those Lurkers. Emphasis on trying. Once again turned away. Eba moving in. And defensively, no tanks, right? There's no tanks, there's no factory production here, just purely a bio army. And that's where Lurkers can excel. Yeah, there's no fear for the Lurkers, outside of course, the Ghosts. EPs do connect. 1 tank does arrive. Getting into another. Eba gaining momentum, denying mining. Tanks are moving in. Eba does get away. Swag pulls out. Now we can finally start spinning creep again. Start being active. We have 9 more Lurkers morphing in. Moja still doesn't really have the ideal army. He's still rebuilding his Liberators. He's up to 6 Ghosts. Liberator range is on the way. As Moja moves out, Ling Ramai moves in. Lanker's getting us over the Planetary. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of dead SCVs. Lurkers out. Oh no! Ooh, lurkers are popping up, but he gets caught out. Eva! Yeah, 3-4 lurkers going down. Yeah, rough rally there from Eva. He didn't have to reinforce. No, and he will lose every lurker. He will lose every single lurker. Ay, ay, ay. That was what, 10? 12. Oh god, 12 lurkers just went down. That was the backbone of Eva's army. That was it. What does he have left? He's down to what? He's down to, okay, he's down to 8. Still less than what he had. Somewhat less than what he even lost. And we still have plenty of liberators, ghosts as well. Lurker's out of position. Has to try to move in. Nice fungal. There's no follow-up. And there's no follow-up to the fungal. Lurkers are too far back. The army just ignores the lurkers. Moves in. And the tanks are sieged. Eva, he cannot move in. Again, losing 12 lurkers was brutal. He was going to lose lurkers regardless, but I assumed it would just be the 4, the harassing ones. Speaking of, lurkers are moving to harass. Base goes down. Because these tanks are siege, there's no way for the lurkers to engage. They're going to try though. Oh god. Oh no! He moves into tank fire. Does move in. Where's the scan? Oh. Scan's a little bit late, but GG gets called. GG gets called. Every lurker goes down, and Moja, he will take the game. He will take a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Moja. He will take a lead. Again, Eba, he was looking impressive there. He was able to survive the 8 racks, defend, build up a greater army, have some better fights, but we saw him lose everything there towards the end. Unfortunately, he lost 12 lurkers as he tried to counterattack. He was already harassing, successfully so, with 4 lurkers, but he chose to reinforce. With 8 extra lurkers. He got caught out as he was rallying over. He got caught with his pants. The pants were down. straight up. Trying to look for the words, but the pants were down. He got caught out completely. GG, well played. And now we're getting into game number 2. Getting into game 2. And we'll see if Eba can force the ace match. We'll see if Moja can clean it up from here. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the German Terran player. We have the Red Terran. Cool. Leading the series 1-0, and we'll see if he can claim the series and advance on to the next round. Here and now, it is Moja. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg player representing the Land of Heroes from Land of the UK. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Eba. Eba. Let's go. As Moja once again setting up with a Rax on low ground and a Rax across the map. As I believe he did rally, yep, here towards the right hand side. So the same opener every single game against Mini Zerg and against Eba as well. This might just be his go-to in TVZ. Again, I don't really get to cast enough of Moja to say that with too much certainty, but at least in this tournament, it's been all he's done. Let's go. And once again, the goal here of 2x Reaper is to deny the third base, to contain the Zerg player on 2 bases, to trade well early on, and to gain control and gain momentum of the game. Of course, welcome back to Oceanborn. There are some people that are watching that might be thinking, hold up, this isn't 2024, what's going on? Why are we on Oceanborn? Well, the answer is, welcome to an OSC tournament. OSC events, including the OSC Championship and the OSC Midseason Playoffs, the OSC Rising Star Tournament, and OSC King of the Hill, and many others. They feature an extended map pool. So we have the ladder maps, but we also have extra maps added on as well that players can play on, like Oceanborn. Every season, the players vote on which maps to add, and this season, Oceanborn is part of that. So we have maps like Oceanborn, we have some older maps as well. I believe, Sandworm, that's it. Sandworm, the TLMC 20 map, which is a new map, to be fair, is also a part of the extended map pool. So Sandworm, we have Oceanborn, and I believe there's one other. Map as well. But every season does change based on voting. So Oceanborn is back. Yeah, there you go. Exclamation mark OSC maps in the chat. There you go. As Reapers, they poke in. 2 poke in. He's going to be able to zone away. Third base is being taken. I mentioned earlier that the purpose of this build is to delay the third, but Iba, he snuck out the third base, and Moja, he doesn't do anything about it. He wasn't able to delay. He rotates. He now spots the expansion. Does spot the hatchery, but at this point, it might just be too late to punish. Yeah, so a rough start here for Moja. Takes down both takes down both tumors. Not bad. Does preserve those Reapers. Trying to gain some value here. Whatever he can. Moja back home, of course, expanding, getting his factory, transitioning. But I would say a slightly worse start this time for Moja. Last game, he did delay the third. This time, not able to. Not able to. Oh, does get a queen though. Not just one. Can he get two? Oh, he can. Two queens go down. Okay, never mind. So we have a bit of a give and take here. Sure, he didn't deny the third base. He didn't delay the third base, but he does get two queens. And there's one queen. Sorry, there's two queens left. Moja, he wants more. He wants more. Oh, he shouldn't get a third. Yeah, extends. One Reaper goes down. Moja, we gotta calm down. And behind this, hidden Roach Warren. Hidden Roach Warren. Sorry, my apologies. I say hidden. Was meant to be hidden. Rax sees everything. Moja knows. Moja, he sees, he knows, he's aware of the roaches. Iba knows that Moja is aware. And you can see that Iba's not going for an all-in. He is going into roach production, but this is only to apply pressure. Only for roaches, he's droning up behind this. This is not an all-in out of Iba. If it was hidden, then he could go for an all-in, but because he got scouted, an all-in is not viable. It's not viable. Not gonna happen. Behind this, Moja, he is building up his first tank. Vikings on the way as well to deny vision. To deny scouting. Going lair first. Interesting. Bearing in mind, Iba, no link speed. He goes for a roach base opener straight into the lair. This can lead into roach speed, or if we take extra gases, this could be something crazy. It could even lead into something like a spire. But we'll keep an eye on the gases. For the time being, we just have to assume it's going to be for roach speed. Yeah, +1 carabase is on the way. Gas is just now being taken. Just being safe. Moja throws down extra Raxes. Once again, really early double Evo chamber. Sorry, double eBay is what I meant to say. Once again, double upgrades. And once again, this looks like an A-Rax. Does look like the setup for an A-Rax here out of Moja. As Moja does pull away. And again, Moja, he was relatively successful when it came to his attack last time, when it came to his 8-Rax push in Game 1. If you remember, he just didn't get into the economy. For now, we have 4 more Raxes on the way. Again, we have a 5-Rax setup so far, and we are expecting 3 more. We're expecting 3 more Raxes. We're expecting that 8-Rax setup. And there it is. Oh, sorry, those are add-on swaps. The add-on swaps, we have the Armory for 2-2. Do we have any Hellions? No Hellions, so this time there's going to be no Hellbats to reinforce this position. To reinforce the army. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, no Hellbat production whatsoever. I mean, it makes sense against a Roach-based army. And there it is. 3 more Raxes, A-Rax. So Moja, he's A-Raxing. This time it's going to be a very different kind of defense. This time we're building up Roach Ravager and we're taking up into Hydras and fast infestation bits. Ooh, so Iba's goal here is to work towards Lurkers. This time much faster. Much faster Hive, much faster Lurkers. I say Hive and Lurkers. We should be going, if we're going for a Roach Ravager defense against an A-Rax, we should be working towards Infestors. There should be like 2 or 3 safety Infestors here. Without it, it's going to be a tough hold. On range on the way. Hydras are amassing. Infestation bit is done. Where are the Infestors? Oh, he's skipping it. Going straight for the Hive. Oof. Going straight for the Hive. He sees nothing as well. eBay is playing blind. Viking does. Bob does weave. Double drop is moving in, and you can see here 12 Marines at a time. The ARAX is in full swing and full force. And we'll soon move out across the map. Now, this should hit before Lurkers. It should hit pre-Lurkers. Lurker Den has begun. Moja's on a timer. If Eba can survive until Lurkers, once again, he can slow the game down. Did end up losing game 1, but it wasn't necessarily because of that Lurker transition. No, like, he got into Lurkers, he slowed the game down, he made a game out of it. He just got caught with his pants down. Is he wearing a belt? Are we wearing suspenders? As Moja, he is yet to pull the trigger. Lurker 10, here we're getting there. It's almost done. Moja, is he going to wait for 2-2? Ooh, if he waits for 2-2, it's going to be too late. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here comes the Unsiege. Lurker Den is now done. And how many Lurkers are we going to have in time, if any? So here comes the all-in. Okay, 5 Lurkers are morphing. 5 Lurkers are in production. Moja, he's taking his time. He's slowly knocking down these rocks. Now pushing forward with the main army. Lurkers, they will finish. And Moja, he may have missed his window. May have missed it. Sees a couple of Lurkers he scans. He does see the army. Does spot all the Lurkers. Does cancel at least 3. But I don't see him pushing into 5 Lurkers like this. That's up the army. Lurkers, they rotate. Tanks, they do siege up in time. Nice position with the tanks. Very nice. Yeah, tanks, they shell away at the army. Ooh, and Eba, he gets caught out. He gets caught out. Ay, ay, ay. And Eba, he will lose everything. He'll lose everything here. Moja has to be careful about chasing. Ooh. Does have to be very careful here, but he does stand forward. Breaks through all the Lurkers. And who cares about your Lurkers if you're not in position? Yeah, he was out of position. GG gets called, and Moja, he will take the series at 2-0. Whew, GG. Again, a really, really clutch move out of Moja. In a head-on fight, Eba defends, 100%. But as we saw, Moja, he took a very sharp turn to the left-hand side. His tanks did siege before Eba burrowed, so these tanks are just getting free damage on the entire army of Eba. Eba was outpositioned. He was outpositioned here. Tanks did punish. GG. GG, well played. Whew, Moja takes it to her. Moja does take it again. Game 2 being a little more decisive here. I was still very uncertain about whether or not this would work for Moja just because it had taken so long. But again, he was able to outposition Eba. He was able to rotate in time, able to catch Eba with that. Their pants were down once again. Oh my god. They were down. Eba caught out. And with that, GG, Moja does claim it. And now we're getting ready for our next matchup. Here we go for the final series of the broadcast. We're getting ready for a Terran vs Protoss. Terran vs Protoss matchup here. We're getting ready for BabyMarine versus Night Phoenix. Oh boy, here we go. We have an interesting TVP ready for us just because I want to say that both these players are known for their... actually, I was going to say both these players are known for their aggression, but I have seen a lot more late game or mid to late game out of BabyMarine in recent times. But I might just be thinking about other matchups. I might just be thinking about TVZ. So curious here as yeah, now that I think about it, I have seen a lot more like mid to late game out of BabyMarine, less 8 Raxes in the TVZ matchup. TVP, I have seen more aggression, especially from Night Phoenix, 100%. From Night Phoenix, like he can be a very quirky player. I'm ready for it. Let's go. Let us go. We have one series left, one final matchup, but we're jumping into game 1 on Tokamak. Let's go. Does it have stripes or heart prints? Oh no. It's got teddy bears. Aye. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Ukrainian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Astronaut Esports. It is Night Phoenix. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Streamer Zone. It is BabyMarine. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is? It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Again, this is the final series of the broadcast. Oh boy. And this is going to be a spicy one here. Now, one, I appreciate that we're going to be able to feature Night Phoenix. Night Phoenix, he is very inactive as of late. Night Phoenix, I want to say in 2023. 2023 was Night Phoenix's year. Night Phoenix was playing in everything. But coming into 2024, especially the tail end of 2024 and coming into 2025, Night Phoenix has been very inactive. Very inactive. Hello, SEV. And has not really been playing in much. Does still play and compete in events like this, like the OSC Elite Rising Star and OSC King of the Hill. He does sometimes make appearances, but again, Night Phoenix is not as active as it used to be. So because of that, I have a really hard time placing the skill of Night Phoenix. I have a really hard time trying to figure out how he scales against someone like BabyMarine. I feel like Night Phoenix in his prime would be quite comparable to BabyMarine, but right now, just because he's been less active, just because BabyMarine has been more active competing in more tournaments, I do lean towards the Terran here. But we'll see as we go for an eBay block and we force the unnatural natural. So nice start for BabyMarine, forcing a bit of a shaky start here out of Night Phoenix. An uncomfortable start is maybe a better way of putting it. Forced to expand elsewhere. Forced to expand at the third. Behind this, we do see BabyMarine going for the factory before CC. As he delays the cancel, which means we're going to be aggressive here. We go for the add-on swap into Hellions. Now, the purpose, if we go for the swap into Hellion production, is that Night Phoenix, he's caught between two spread out bases, right? He's caught between his third and his main. So bouncing back and forth and trying to keep up with Hellions of all things can be difficult. And BabyMarine, he might be able to find some damage here. As yep, there's the add-on swap into Hellions. And again, this is meant to punish. Oh, hell, Jesus! This is even more committed than I assumed. It is going to be Hellion aggression, and Night Phoenix should confirm. He should move out. He should get eyes on the reactor factory. He should get eyes on the Hellions, so he's going to be aware of that at least. But we're going not just for a Hellion run by, we're going for a Hellion drop. Starport is on the way, getting ready for the drop. Oh boy! As Hellions they break out. Likewise, the Hellions, they're getting intercepted here. Who cares about the medevac if the Hellions cannot get across the map? True, gets a Hellion. Gets one Hellion already. BabyMarine, what's the plan? How do we try to react here? Medevac. Okay, still going for the medevac. Hellions do slip by. But the wall is exposed. There's nothing to defend. There's one Marine. Okay, there's only one Marine. Boys are being pulled to repair. Depot is under fire. CC is going to be delayed. But Hellions, they get into the middle line. We're getting a little bit messy. We're getting very messy. Probes are falling. But the CC will complete. Yeah, will complete in the end. Drop into the main. Remember, 3 Hellions, what do? They one-shot probes. 3 Hellions, they one-shot workers. And if they line up, that could be the death of the mineral line. Speaking of, boys are being, oh god, boys are being pulled, they're lining up. Oh god. Probes are lining up, 6 more probes. Oh no, they stack. Oh my god, they do stack up. 8 probes going down. Thankfully we have some SimCity, but he's not done. He wants more. He wants more workers. And he will get them. Now down to 2 Hellions, now he 2 shots. And he's 2 volleys here to kill probes. Oh god, he gets everything. He just roasts the mineral line, 18 probe kills. And Night Phoenix is all in. Night Phoenix is down to 8 probes. Barely an economy. He's breaking his way into the main. Buzzing his way in. Tank has arrived. It's not going to be enough. And Night Phoenix does not have enough. He'll lose everything. The Stalkers, the Adepts, the Zealots, and the tank survives. GG gets called. BabyMarine takes a lead in the series. Whew. GG. Does take a lead again. A very, very intense game one. Very intense. A little bit back and forth as well. But last, the Hellion run by and the Hellion drop did overwhelm, did excel, did in the game. It's straight up in the game, and now we're getting into game number 2, and we'll see how our players do adjust. We'll see if Night Phoenix does go for a bit of a safer opener. We'll see if he scouts a natural earlier to get an eye on something like an eBay block. We'll see if he responds with more aggression instead. Let's go. Game 2 is going to be, once again, on Oceanborn. Again, Oceanborn was a very popular map back when it was in the map pool. Still popular as well when players are allowed to play on it. We do often see it being picked. There's a reason why they voted on this map. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Ukrainian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Astronaut Esports, down in the series. Can he bounce back and make a series out of this? It is Night Phoenix. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Italian Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Streamer Zone. It is BabyMarine. Go, and there it is. Night Phoenix, his response to being shut down by the Hellions and the Hellion drop is to respond with the proxy. Let's go. He is going for the proxy. Is setting up here. There's nothing at home. Are we going for a flower? There's no gas. There's no gases. Unless we're just going for delayed gas. Okay. Yeah, only one gateway. Only one gateway. Gases are now on the way. But regardless, Night Phoenix is committed. Behind this, double gas. Ooh, double gas opener out of BabyMarine. A much more tech-heavy start. What does this mean? This means faster factory, delayed CC. This is going to be a little bit more ideal against the aggression of Night Phoenix. Oh boy. Here you go. As we have the initial Zealot on the way. Behind this, we have another gateway, a Cybercore as well. So two-gate opener. Basically, with this, we can go for the Zealot across the map. We can go for an Adept back at home, Shade across the map to reinforce, and proxy a Stalker. And this is all designed to try to punish the low ground CC. Unfortunately, I mean, there is no low ground CC yet because of the faster factory. Here comes the Zealot. As the Reaper breaks in, the Zealot likewise has arrived. We do have a full wall. Yeah, the wall is set up. Reaper gets a probe, delays the natural base. But at the same time, Night Phoenix is also doing damage, right? Denying mining time, forcing 3 SCVs off the mineral line to repair. Forcing out a bunker as well. As here comes the Stalker, here comes the Adept, as we mentioned. Again, proxy Zealot, proxy Stalker, Adept from back at home to Shade across the map. This is meant to punish a low ground CC, but even here, getting some damage done. There's only one Reaper to defend. As Marines are popping out. Bunker is incomplete. Still nothing major yet. Ooh, takes out a Marine. Takes out one Marine. Zealot falls. Once again, delays the bunker. Now, without a bunker, that depot, it's gonna fall. Oof. It's another SCV and another 5 SCV kills. Cyclone is on the way, but the depot will fall. Cyclone should be able to defend. Another SCV, another delay of the CC. Does focus on whatever he can. Again, BabyMarine, he's supply blocked. He's supply blocked, he can't make anything. And Dev gets punished. You can see how the Cyclone just bullies the early game aggression, the early gateway units. But damage was still done. And again, this depot is so late. Why didn't even have to cool down supply? Just wait for the CC. Just wait for the CC. But again, 2 depots being thrown down. A starport as well. Behind this, Night Phoenix was able to expand. And Night Phoenix, he has a very comfortable worker lead. Again, 28 probes and 19 SCVs. Very nice worker lead here. Oh. Trying to catch out the Cyclone. Knife Phoenix, he is building up. It's building up. Likewise, we have our Cloak Banshees on the way. BabyMarine getting into Cloak Banshee. Now finally taking his own natural base. But again, Knife Phoenix has a very nice, comfortable lead when it comes to his worker count. Getting to a 4-gate setup. Going into 4-gate blinks, the aggression just doesn't end. Starts with the proxy, follows it up with 4-gate blink. 4-gate blink Stalker, here we go. Mass Stalker's moving out. Prism on the way as well. Hyper aggression out of Knife Phoenix as goes to break BabyMarine. Now the low ground is secure somewhat with a tank, but there's no bunker. There's no bunker, likewise no tank or bunker in the main. Stalker's a poke in. Trading with the Marines. Second tank in the main, but again, no bunkers. So these tanks are looking very exposed. And with high ground vision, I think he can just dive straight to the main base as well. What are we going for? He can just pick. Yeah, he can just pick and choose. Dives on the tank. Tank goes down. And there's nothing. There's just nothing here. There's nothing here. The tank is further back. The CC is going to be denied. Can he kill the CC? Oh, nice force field. Very nice force field. And going for the command center. One more volley will bring it down. Massive pickoff. BabyMarine down to one base. Down to one command center. Behind this, Knife Phoenix freely expanding. Getting a third. Getting a third base. Building up his own economy. Charges on the way. Again, there's no pressure. There's no pressure on Knife Phoenix. He could go further in and try to kill his opponents. Or he just chill. But he does miss the move out. Ooh, he does miss the main army. Boys are being pulled. BabyMarine is all in. But reinforcements getting caught out. That's a tell. Seeing those Marines moving out, that is a massive tell. Knife Phoenix, he spots the army. Ooh, no detection. Observer just now coming in. Army gets spotted. Oh, timing on the tanks. He gets one, he gets two. He gets both tanks and the Cyclone. And BabyMarine, he has nothing. He has nothing here. He has two Banshees, but remember there's detection, so even then, they can't really get much done. GG gets called, and Knife Phoenix, he will tie the series 1-1. Whew, we are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. We're going to game 3. We're going to the ace match. Fun fact, I believe this is the one and only series. It's been a very chaotic, very aggressive series, but this is the only series that has gone to game 3. every other series here in today's broadcast, this evening and early morning, 2-0s, just purely 2-0s. Back to back to back to back. Finally, we get an ace match. Let's go. And how does this story end? It's been really fast games. Really fast game 1, really fast game 2. Does that trend continue coming into game 3? Let's go. Let us go. Protoss, I mean, again, BabyMarine, he was cutting corners. As we were pointing out, I say cutting corners. At the same time, he had to cut corners because it was a really rocky start. Remember, he had a very delayed economy. He was losing so many SCVs. He was getting supply blocked. The early game was disastrous for BabyMarine. And Knife Phoenix did dominate. 4-gate blink hit so hard. That's why it hit so hard, because the early game was just so brutal for BabyMarine. So we'll see if he can tighten up his early game defense. And we'll see if he can end up in a stronger setup coming into the mid game. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the Ukrainian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Astronaut Esports. It is Knight Phoenix. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player, or the blue Terran player himself. From the land of Italy, representing Streamer Zone, it is BabyMarine. We go. As BabyMarine, he does pull a bit of a mod jab app. He goes for 1 ranks back at home, 1 across the map at 2 ranks Reaper. 2 ranks Reaper at a BabyMarine. This is not as committed as a proxy 2 ranks, as it's only 1 proxy instead, but you know, aggressive nonetheless. Aggressive nonetheless here from BabyMarine. We'll see what he can get done. As the gas is being saturated. Being saturated. Meanwhile, we have our Marine back at home. Across the map, the Rax is finishing up. Are we going for a tech lab? We are. Okay. I was curious. As soon as I saw that this wasn't a Reaper back home, I was like, hold up, something's wrong. Something's wrong, something doesn't quite add up here, and we have the answer. It is going to be a Tech Lab into Proxy Marauder. And a Tech Lab back at, sorry, a Reactor back at home. You can pull the boys with this. So we have the option here to build up to like, what, 3-4 Marauders? Build up Marines, pull the boys, and go for one base all in. So we'll see if we go like full hod mono with this, or if we just reinforce with Marines and commit. Our eyes are on the boys. It's on the boys here. As we're slowly building up those Marauders, building up those Marines. Night Phoenix back at home going, oh no, he goes for a Stargate. Oh, that is brutal. Stargate opener out of Night Phoenix. This is so greedy. Stargate openers, they're built to give you they're built to get harassed done across the map, to go into Phoenixes, to deny drop play, but specifically against 2 base all-ins and against early game aggression like this, even 1 base all-ins, Stargate openers, they struggle. They do struggle. Depending on what we go with, true. Like if he builds up Phoenixes, they're not going to help. If he builds up Oracles, they can be okay. Adept gets into the main base, scouts nothing, which is a big tell. Yeah, shield barriers, instantly shield barriers are on the way. The Marauders, they reveal themselves, and it's go time. It is go time here. Ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel. Void Ray production has begun again. He needs the Void Ray. Thankfully, he didn't bring in a Phoenix or anything like that. Army's moving out. Does not pull the boys. Okay. Doesn't pull up. I mean, it's an all-in anyway. It does knock down the shield barriers one after the other. And he might just kill the natural. He might just get the kill. There's no SCV, so there's no bunker. There's no SCV. Anti-air is limited. That's how Void Ray's putting in a lot of work. Here we go. The boys are being pulled. It gets 1 Marine. There's 2 Marines left. And not Marines. There's no anti-air. That is the win condition for Night Phoenix. Takes down a Marauder. Ooh, more reinforcing Marines though. Void Ray taking a lot of damage. Nice kiting, but still loses another Marine. Again, the Marine count is so precious here. So important for BabyMarine. And he cannot throw them away. As it's still just rallying. So just rallying everything across the map. Kills the natural. Now there are 2 Void Rays. You can see Night Phoenix trying to catch reinforcements. BabyMarine turns back around. CC is on the way. He's expanding. And BabyMarine, he's expanding. Working his way out of this. Void Ray moves out for a counterattack. And Night Phoenix, what's the response? Does he just play from behind? Oof. Yeah, Void Ray can't get much done. There are 3 Marines to defend. Void Ray is deflected. Night Phoenix is re-expanding. Oh no! He missed the shade. He gets caught out, losing all the adepts. Every adept should go down. Void Ray doing what he can. That was a brutal loss for Night Phoenix. Bearing in mind, specifically in this kind of game state, every unit matters that much more for Night Phoenix because he's behind. But he has built up to 3 Void Rays, soon to be 4. Yeah, that was an ambitious stim. Very ambitious. Is going to be punished. Marine gets stuck as well. Stim is Knight. Okay. Okay. Can mass Void Ray work? If the cyclone count stays low, then sure. But there's 1, soon to be 2 cyclones. Cyclones are building up. Again, Void Rays, there's a reason why they're very niche units in this matchup. There's a reason why you rarely ever see them. Here they were necessary to defend against the Churax. It was necessary just because of the Stargate opener. But ideally you do want to get out of this. Oh boy. That's BabyMarine, he does rush forward. There's a world where they could have been stim with this as well, which would have been brutal. Shield battery goes down. 4 Void Rays to defend. Void Rays, they can hold their own here. Again, at least until the Cyclones arrive. Okay, now up to 2. See BabyMarine consolidating his army. rallying everything together. She's now getting a third Cyclone. We're reactoring our Vikings. See what he locks onto. Shall see. Busting into the bases. Yeah, getting a couple of probe kills. We do see Knife Phoenix out of position. 5 probes going down. I mean, again, BabyMarine, he already has a lead, so here, just securing that. We do see Colossus on the way, so Void Ray into Colossus. Unfortunately, BabyMarine, he's already building up Mass Viking. Like, he already has plenty of anti-air because of the Void Rays. Ugh. So he's already ready. He's already set up. He's got his Mass Vikings. He's moving out. Knife Phoenix trying to get away with the third base. I don't see that happening. The Colossus will help. It's BabyMarine. He does scan. He does spot the Colossus. He rotates over. Let's rotate tank to siege. Nice force field. Locks down one of the Cyclones. Gets one, gets two. Very nice. Takes down 2 Cyclones at the same time. Ooh, he does take down 2 Void Rays. Yeah, 2, 3 Void Rays going. Oh god, losing every Void Ray. And now he can chase down the Colossus. The Vikings, they reign supreme. They bully the Protoss army. Again, that's the problem with going Colossus here, is that he was already forcing a reaction and forcing a response to the Void Ray. Now we have Disruptors on the way. I mean, they will fare a little bit better. Oh god, as the army sends in. The army sends on forward. Nice kiting with the Marines. Takes out another Colossus. And BabyMarine, he will just snowball out of control from here. And again, just doing critical damage at the start of the game. And Knife Phoenix, he never quite recovered. It also didn't help, as we mentioned, that there's a reason why we were like, oh no, is because Knife Phoenix had opened Stargate this game as well. So like everything was working against him. So we're just really unfortunate, really unlucky. And I say unlucky at the same time, like Stargate opens are a rare sight to begin with. So it was a big risk, and GG gets called. BabyMarine, he snowballs out of control. He will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the second round. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Congratulations, BabyMarine. He will claim the series. He will advance on. Very well done. Shout out to Knife Phoenix. Again, he's the only, I mean, this is the only series that went all the way to game 3, but it was still a very short one. Still a very short series. Still really fast games. Hyper aggression from all sides. GG. GG, well played. And with that, BabyMarine, he will claim it. Will advance on. Well done. As the matches, they do not get easier from here. Let's actually catch up on the bracket, figure out where we are headed, and what is up next here on the OSC Elite Rising Star number 16. Bam! Let's go. Let us go. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. Let's scroll up from the top. Okay, so again, this is day one of the tournament, and the event is going to take a long time. It's going to take weeks, if not months, to progress and to round off the event and to claim a champion. Jimmy is the current reigning OSC Elite Rising Star number 15 champion, and we'll see if he can do it again. From the top, we have Nikrak, he is still waiting for his opponent. From the very top here, we have Mixu and Hatsu. They are looking to face off in a ZVZ in the first round. That is still yet to take place, still yet to unfold. Meanwhile, we have Honmono versus Bappy, also facing off in the first round in a TVP. Best of luck. Art, of course, he did take down Jomek. We already covered that series. Arch waiting for the winner of Homono and Papi. Likewise, Nick Rack waiting for the winner of Mixu and Hatsu as well. Scrolling down, we have Art. Art took down F2 Click, took down Shameless. Art is now up against Sebestis in another PvP. Again, a lot of PvPs in this portion of the bracket, but Art and Sebestis, they're going to be facing off in that matchup. Sebestis took down Hydra, took down Inexorable in a Protoss vs Terran matchup, and of course is now up against Art. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Percival, Sig. Sig took down MiddleVK. We covered that series during this broadcast. It was a very impressive showing out of Sig to take down MiddleVK, but he did fall to Percival. Moja took down Minizerg, took down Eba. Moja with the non-stop 8 racks against Eba. He popped off, and now we have a TVT in the 3rd round. Oh boy, with Percival versus Moja. Scrolling down, BabyMarine. BabyMarine, he just took down Night Phoenix. He's up against Jumi in the next round. Again, Jumi, he's the reigning champion, and this is also a team kill. Streamer Zone versus Streamer Zone, facing off in that 2nd round. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have UD Soldier versus Demi into Young Yakov. So again, the upper bracket is underway. For the most part, the 1st round is almost completely concluded. I'm sure for the next OSC Elite Rising Star, the 1st round will be wrapped up, and the 2nd round is soon to be wrapping up as well. So again, the tournament is progressing, but bearing in mind that there are still multiple phases of the tournament. Sure, we have the upper bracket, but did you notice we also have, bam, the lower bracket. The lower bracket is also slowly kind of building as we speak. Again, all the players that went down, they're still in the tournament. You can see here, Jamek is still waiting for his opponent. We have Eba versus F2 Click. We have Sig versus Hydra, Inexorable versus MiddleVK, Shameless versus Minizerg, and Night Phoenix as well. Again, all these players, they're all still down there in the lower bracket, and they will have a chance at redemption to go for a deeper run in the tournament and to potentially come back and win the entire thing. So best of luck to all the players, as everyone is still in the tournament. Otherwise, hope you all enjoyed. Yourselves. Again, this is a tournament that is built for these more semi-professional players or up-and-coming players as well. That's why there's no like Bjorn or Showtime or Solar or Max or Clem. It's not about them. It's about everyone else. It's about the up-and-comers. It's about the rising stars. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Whew. So again, shout out to Eddie, shout out to OSC for hosting the event, for organizing the event as well. Without them, you know, this event would not be possible, and these players would be worse off as well. So a big shout out to Eddie. I did see Eddie lurking in the chat earlier, and again, a big shout out to OSC, exclamation mark OSC in the chat for a link to their setup here. I think that's a bit of an older link to their Matcherino, but regardless, OSC, they do run a lot of tournaments. They run a lot of tournaments throughout the history of StarCraft 2. And they still run a lot of events as well, like this event, like OSC King of the Hill, and of course the OSC Mid-Season Playoffs and the OSC just Championship alongside that. So a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. When it comes to day 2 of the OSC Elite Rising Star, that should be next week, and still yet to be determined who's going to be covering that. Again, typically for a lot of OSC events, we do kind of rotate. We rotate between casters and coverage. You know, sometimes it's the CranKy Ducklings, sometimes it's Steadfast, sometimes it's Chicken Man, sometimes it's Dave Testa, sometimes it is Wardy, for example. So depending on who's available, depending on who is free and who is going to be stepping in, this event might be covered on one stream or might be covered by another stream instead. We step in whenever we can, but again, otherwise there are other casters that do take that role and do jump in to cover the events. That applies to Elite Rising Star, King of the Hill, and to the Championship, and to the playoffs. And other OSC events as well. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, keep an eye open. Keep an eye on the socials of OSC to be notified where the next event is going to take place, where the next Rising Star will be, what channel it's going to be on. Otherwise, thank you so much. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, when it comes to the rest of our broadcasts, bam, you can see here, we just wrapped up with our Tuesday broadcast of non-stop StarCraft OSC. Meanwhile, tomorrow we're going to be live with the Pegasus Cup. That's going to be Pegasus Cup Wednesday morning. Meanwhile, Thursday, we have the Pondcast. That is going to be our weekly talk show where we talk all things StarCraft. Friday, we have the Sunny Lake Cast as well. Sunny Lake Cup. And on Saturday, we have RSL, the return, the revival of the Revival StarCraft League. RSL Season 2 qualifiers are this weekend, and as always, we will be there for the qualifiers, and of course, Sparkling Tuna Cup on Sunday. So a very busy week here, as always, on the CranKy Ducklings. I will say that we might adjust the schedule a little bit. Currently, the Sunny Lake Cup is on Friday morning, but I might be unavailable Friday morning, and that might be moved to Friday evening instead, which will be around this time. Instead. So I'm a little bit tentative on the Sun Lake Cup. It does depend on other factors, I will say, but yeah, it's either going to be in the morning or the evening, depending on when I will be available. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to tune into some more StarCraft, some more CranKy Ducklings, ! Socials in the chat, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, at Mastodon, Blue Sky, all things CranKy Ducklings. And again, we upload on YouTube on a daily basis. If you see something that you like here, if you're like, yo, SC2 podcast, what? Again, we've been running it all year on a weekly basis. If you want to watch the VOD, or hey, if you want to watch Sparkling Tuna Cup, if you want to watch RSL, if you want to watch Woody TV Mondays or some of these other casts that you can't watch live, then YouTube is the place to be. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you for the support, and I'm gonna go get some food. I'm a little bit hungry. Go get some food, get some rest. Also, another big thing here that I will share in the chat as well is the Thermal 2v2 circuit that is starting this weekend. True. That is starting this weekend. We don't cast the 2v2 circuit, but we do admin, we do organize the event. So bam, I just left a link in the chat. If you want some information regarding the event, it's all there. But we don't cast it. We do admin though. We work behind the scenes on the tournament, on the tournament, on the 2v2 circuit. And again, this is the biggest tournament in StarCraft 2 history for 2v2, with a $15,000 prize pool. A massive prize pool featuring Max Pack, Spirit, Euthermal, Goblin, Skillless, Alaser, Cyril, Clem, Trigger, Showtime, Wayne, Shameless, Milky Cow, Zuki Lang, G Machine, Lambo, Jumi, and Young Yakov. The best 2v2 players in the world are all facing off in this tournament. It's been a long time coming. We've been casting the monthlies, true, and we might be able to cast the main event via replays later on at a later date. Otherwise, it's going to be casted by Euthermal, Steadfast, and Wardy. They're all going to be live on their respective channels, bringing you as much 2v2 as they can. So do tune in. Again, that's going to be the weekend. You can see here it's not on our schedule just because we're not casting it, right? It's not going to be on this channel. It's going to be on the other channels instead. Otherwise, thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys next time. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time. See you tomorrow.